All right, good morning. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. I'm just jumping on here for about 5-6 minutes here. Quick kind of rundown of what to expect this morning. We're looking at a market where S&P futures are up 11 points here this morning. So S&P will probably be up about 10 points here this morning if we consider fair value. It's a market where, you know what, we saw that pretty strong rally Friday morning and all the way up here to 2,800, and then by the end of the day we're back down here around 2785. So it erased the majority of that rally, and or excuse me, 2765. So you know, erasing most of the rally. Last night futures gapped on down, traded on lower, and then something happened. Asian markets opened. And from the time Asian markets opened till basically now, S&P futures have been going up. What's going on? Well, we had, remember we talked about it's common in situations like these for the Chinese government to step in and give some words of encouragement. They've done that in what looks like a very coordinated effort over the course of the weekend and even last night, in trying to reassure the Chinese economy, Chinese entrepreneurs, that the government is still very committed to them. And so that led to the biggest rally in the Shanghai Composite in more than 2 years. When you hear words like that, biggest rally in more than 2 years, you know you're probably more in a bear market environment. You don't get those in bull market environments, right? And, so we get that. China popped over 4% last night. And we're going to see the FXI, the Chinese ETF, the FXI, trade all the way up here to over 40 again. There's kind of been a sticking point for it. For many, many weeks now. And it's dipped below, it's rallied above, but 40 has been kind of a key level here for it overall. And so we'll see it open up around that level here this morning. We'll also see some strength in the emerging markets, the EEM, some of the big tech, Chinese tech like Alibaba, JD. They're all going to get some early boosts here this morning on the on kind of the reassurances. I think that's probably the best word for them, reassurances. And what are the implications of those reassurances going forward? It's one of those things where we saw 2 days after the flash crash, the China come in and reassure, right? And they even did a little more than reassure. They lowered interest rates, and the S&P gapped up 50 points. 50-point up day, on the S&P back in 2010. And this is when the S&P was a lot cheaper than it is now, and that rally a few days later was gone. And to me, that's kind of what I expect we'll see. I don't expect we'll see a 50-point rally on the news, but the fact of the rally being gone, in a short period of time. As I went through the market this weekend and the different earnings and the different charts and some of the news and all of that, my thoughts or opinions on the market didn't change at all. And a lot of times over the weekend, I find a few things that make me kind of reconsider a few things, but they didn't change at all. In fact, I think it's pretty good odds that we go to new lows, and pretty good odds that market eventually hits new highs. And I'll stand by that here overall, and I'll look to trade around that thesis. But waiting for my signals to come in. We didn't see any Katie signals last week, up or down, which is a little irritating. I'd love to see a few and go after them and didn't take advantage of them. But when they're not there, they're not there. And so I do have some SPY puts, and took it on the chin, Friday morning. By the close, they were about break even. This morning, they'll be down a little bit. You can see how the market's pretty much set to open up where it was, just shortly before the close on Friday. right? And so we talk about, price stability within a 10, 20, 30 point range. We still haven't shown any type of price stability in that range. Now, today with the market opening between the high and the low from Friday, right? What is that? That's kind of an inside day. I want to get on. I want to day trade the SPY here with you on the ideal days, and I will get on and do it on the ideal days. I'm not going to waste my or your time doing it when the environment is not conducive for it. Yes, might there be a trade or two? Sure. But at the same time, it's something where staring at it all day, that's gonna drive anyone crazy. If they're looking for, 5, 6, 7 trades, and there's maybe one possibly. And so, today the morning environment with where the market and how the market's gapping, it suggests I'm not going to have a lot of day trade opportunities with the SPY, which surprises me. Considering the chance of having an inside day on a day like today is relatively small after the inside day on Friday. But on Friday we did see a little bit of drop into the close, so to see a little bit of an inside day today, would not be too incredibly unusual. I would not be surprised to see a day kind of like this back here, this little black candle, type of action. But overall, looking at the way futures have set up, looking at the morning setup, we could see some day trade opportunities come in, but it's not one where it's an ideal setup right here on the open to say, hey, you know what, this one, and this one. Now, could you apply it to a few stocks today? Yeah, probably Alibaba, BABA, probably has a decent application of those day trade principles, and I'll be taking a little bit of a look at that. But overall, I'm not going to jump on a day trade right away here in the market. If we do see the market kind of changes stripes a little bit, in the first hour or two, then I'll jump on and we'll try to take advantage of a few of those things. Again, that'll just be done on live stream. Won't be done with alerts going out, as by the time the alerts go out, it'll be too late there for them. Okay, out there in the news, if you just go to any major news site, Market Watch, CNBC, right, you're gonna find this stuff. Kicks off a brutal worldwide financial crisis, right? How to trade the next bear market. There's going to be a lot of exaggerations in the news and in a lot of the headlines. In fact, on some we see some really bullish stuff, and that's very normal. It's very, very normal, and it doesn't really change a heck of a whole lot here. But again, this market, as are every market, it's about risk-reward exposure. And, when you don't have great setups, playing a little bit of a thesis like I'm doing with the SPY, okay. But, you don't want to get caught into it. You don't want to get too overly exposed there. And, so I'll probably go through the day here today with that SPY. I may look to add, depending on, the morning action. If we see a little morning rally and a high volume top, I may look to add some more SPY to the downside. But I do want to give, the morning a little time to play out. It is likely one of these days where if the market's able to hold green, right, which it probably will, it's going to close up 15 to 20 points. But if it goes red, the algos are going to kick in and they're going to sell it. And they're going to sell it hard. And, they're going to sell it aggressively. And I do think this is one of these markets where you can actually look at it and keep it as simple as, okay, if the market's green, I'm not going to touch, puts. Market goes red, time to buy puts. And you can probably buy it on almost anything and do pretty well, if we see the market turn around and go red here on the day. So just want to give some of those quick thoughts. I'll be on a little bit later in the day today. I do want to let some of the morning action play out and, kind of see where different things kind of settle out. I'll put some comments into the message feed there, but I'll probably jump on a little bit later here in the day. We'll take a look at the price action, any kind of signals, any trade adjustments, and look to go from there. Have yourselves a great one, and we'll talk to you later. Take care.